There's more history in the making here at HSN. We have your 15 years SMint, so that's San Francisco Mint, the prestige proof sets with the three piece of the 1976 silver set. Price break, $17.99.95, and price breaks are temporary. Just like spring break, it goes away. That's the same thing for this special buy. Normally, $23.99. We are really proud to be able to bring this to you. Mike, take it from the top, my friend. It's huge.
Well, it is, and I've thrown in actually kind of a real cool bonus set down there just for no particular reason other than, why not throw in a $100 set, of 3 silver coins? Because it came as a special set, kind of, these are kind of all the special sets with dollars, special dollars in them. That's your bonus set right there. That's the 3-piece silver bicentennial set. That set's, like I said, coin by coin, almost $100 bonus. The United States government has done a lot of things in the course of all the times that they've sold United States coins. One of the things that they kind of started to do is, when they started doing proof sets in 1968 at San Francisco Mint, which you just had the opportunity to buy the first 25 of, they started kind of doing some special packaging. And as we move forward to 1984, where we had the Olympics, the Los Angeles Olympics in 1984, is that the United States government decided to make a special commemorative dollar, silver dollar. These are silver, actually. These are actually commemorative silver dollars. And so they made the commemorative silver dollar, and what they did is they put it all together in a set that you see right here, and they called it a prestige proof set. And in 1983, they put this set together and included the regular issue proof set plus the commemorative silver dollar from the year. So this is 1983, getting ready for the Olympics. And then they did a 1984 as well, that you're going to see right here, another Olympic coin, if you remember that. And it was immensely and tremendously and fabulously popular. So you got 2 silver dollars in here. Then in 1985, they didn't do another set. They didn't do a commemorative dollar. And then they started a run of commemorative dollars because this revitalized the American Commemorative Dollar Series in 1986. And what they did is in that year, they did a commemorative of the Statue of Liberty. They also happened to do a commemorative half dollar. So you have a commemorative silver dollar, the regular issue proof set, and then the commemorative half dollar, and that's in 1986. And then they continued to make these prestige proof sets from 1986, 1987, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, and 97. And then in 1997, because the government makes them to order in essence, okay? And people kind of had quit buying them. And so what happened is that they got rarer and rarer and rarer and rarer and rarer until you get down to the end of the series. And by 1997, they said, we just can't make them anymore. And they ended the series. So this is the entire prestige proof set, start to finish, of the United States government. Now, keep in mind, as you look in this is going to be 5, it's going to be 10, it's going to be 14 and 15 sets. Now, here's the amazing part of this. There are 15 silver dollars in these sets. 15 commemorative silver dollars. I couldn't go get you 15 American silver eagles of this rarity. As a matter of fact, they made more silver eagles last year than they made of all of these silver dollars put together. Wow. Okay? And some of these, and remember, you're going to get all of the commemorative half dollars in here as well. So you're basically at $1,799 with 15. You're looking at $120 a piece. I sell you a regular issue United States American Silver Eagle from 2014, a certified one for $119.95. Or I can sell you 15 sold out limited editions. And understand, there are many of these coins that you simply cannot touch for $119.95, let alone all of the other coins that are in this collection starting in 1983 going all the way to 1997. Just the Kennedy half dollars in this collection are actually about $250 or $300. Forget about the silver dollars. As a matter of fact, if you value the other coins in the collection, the penny, the nickel, the dime, the quarter, and the half dollars, and not even the commemorative halves, you're going to bring the price on this set probably down into about the $1,200 range, give or take. And at $1,200 for 15 of those, that means you buy each and every one of these commemorative dollars for about $89.95. If you go to hsn.com, If you go to hsn.com and you go ahead and just search for prestige proof sets, Look at the 1996 Prestige proof set, okay? And we'll get to that here in a minute. Now I want to talk about, and we have a little bit of time here. I have 6.5 minutes, and these are already starting to sell. And I've got well fewer than 100 of these. I've not sold these this year so far.
Yeah,
we're already in March. October of last year. We sold out the quantity that we had. And, of course, now I've taken $600 off. I got a pretty spiffy deal, so I'm going to pass that down.
That is also temporary.
So what I'm going to quickly do is run through.
Let's do it.
And explain to you each one of the silver dollars that the government has done. And then there's a couple of special ones I'm going to point out. One that is a coin that should have never existed. I think we've got that, don't you have, Rick? You have all those Prestige proof sets. You can kind of run through them. And you can run through them on a coin. So you look at that. There's the 95s, 150. Get the 96 up there. Look at these things. I mean, the 1996, we don't even have that. Where's the 96, the 89? The 96, I think, is $500. I'm not mistaken. It might be sold out.
Might be.
We don't even have the individual coin.
I'm not surprised.
We don't even have the individual one of those. 3 of these already gone. So let's go back to that, and so you can, what few we have individually, you can get there.
We're going to still educate everybody.
1987. That is the constitutional dollar. That is celebrating the 200th anniversary of the Constitution of the United States. Then we have the Olympic coin that you're going to have right there in 88. In 89, coming right up here, is the sesquicentennial of Congress. That is pretty cool right there. And that also has a commemorative $50, which has one of my favorite. Look at that.
Wow.
And then one of my favorite reverses on a $50. Look at that. That's the symbol of Congress, actually. And then you go right up here, and then you're going to have, look at that. That's Congress right there. So very cool. We're down to these 4 of these already gone. Sorry about that. 1990 is the 100th anniversary of the birth of Dwight David Eisenhower. One of my most favorite sets right here is the Mount Rushmore. There's the Mount Rushmore set that you're going to have right there, and the Mount Rushmore $50. Are you ready for this? How about the only Buffalo $50 ever made by the United States? I can sell as many of those as I want to sell for $69.95 if I bust it out of this set right here. And that coin right there, always one of the most popular coins that I have. The next set is the 1992, and this is very interesting. I will come back to this. I've got a little bit of time here. I'll come back to this. This is the Olympic dollar coin, along with the Olympic $50, the gymnastics. This, however, is a unique American coin. It should have never been made, and it's unique in one respect. This coin has got a living American on it.
Controversy.
It is against all rules that we have a living American on a coin. That is Nolan Ryan, and I'll show you why I know that here in just 1 second. Already a half a dozen sets are gone. Shivani, if you want to put that back there, I'll get back to that. Now we're getting to the stuff. At this point, people have kind of stopped ordering this from the government. So now the mintages are down into the 20,000, 25,000. If you look at the 1995 W American Silver Eagle, if you look at the 95W American Silver Eagle, they made 30,000 of that coin. In this condition, it's $8,000. Basically, most of these sets are rarer. They're less than 30,000 of each one of these sets. So there you have the James Madison coin and the $50. This right here, one of the most desirable coins. These are the World Cup $1 and $50 that you're going to have here. The set that when I get it individually, the Civil War set that you're going to have right in there. That's the Civil War commemorative. And then the 96, this is the one right here, and it's that coin right there, the soccer $50. That's just silly. That's several hundreds of dollars just for that coin. This set right here is traditionally about $499 or so at retail just for the 96. And then the 1997, which is the Botanic Gardens dollar set that you're going to have there, and that's the very last one that you're going to have. My mistake, I said it was $499. They found the 96 Prestige proof set, which, by the way, is a customer pick at $579.
Phenomenal.
It is a customer pick at $579. So if you take that set out at $579 and the other proof coins in here, now you're down to about 14 commemorative $50 at $50 a piece, or $55 a piece. That's what makes this set so great. Now I want to show you this, and then I'll go over kind of one last thing. And I know we have 2.5 minutes. We might spend an extra minute or two here if we have to. We got a dozen of these going now. This is Nolan Ryan. And people are going, how? It's not Nolan Ryan. It's against the law. It's against the rules to put a living American on a United States government issue coin. Well, folks, that's Nolan Ryan's 1992 baseball card.
Yeah,
okay?
I see
You see the resemblance?
Yeah.
I'm asking you, do you see the resemblance?
Kind of hard to miss it.
Yeah, I mean, other than every single solitary line in the uniform, the wrinkles in the shirt, if you the cleats, the baseball, the glove, other than it being identical, it's not him. Okay.
Yeah.
Other than it being absolutely identical, it's not him. So you're going to get that set. Anytime I put this set up individually, I can sell about 200 of them in 30 seconds. It's so difficult to get one of the most popular sets that are out there with that. And then you look at each and every one of these individually.
How does he feel about it?
What?
How does he feel about it?
I have not asked him.
I think it's a good question.
I have not asked him. It is a coin set that for many, many, many years has been phenomenally and incredibly popular as well. You can imagine 14 sets now gone. With this, and many, many people on the phone.
A lot of people are getting a hold of us. I can see the phone lines are that we really are. We're really busy, and if you're on hold, we know you're there.
And I know people are asking a lot of questions, and I get that. Look, I get it's a lot of money at $1,799 if you look at it as a whole. If you look at it individually to break up the individual pieces of this, really not so much. Because when you look at this, you're looking at all of a sudden now 70 or 80 coins. So you know what I'm saying? And then take the silver dollars out, and you look, for instance, at the 1997 Kennedy half dollar in that set all the way down there on the end. Just the Kennedy half dollar. And I'm not talking about the last set, the green set right in front of you.
Right there.
No.
Nope,
that green set.
Yep.
Just the Kennedy half dollar right here. See this Kennedy half dollar?
See that guy?
$46.50.
Boy.
This coin right here is $46.50. That's the regular issue coin. Now this coin right here, this is the Botanic Gardens dollar. I mean, anytime I get this set, I can sell it at $199, and they just fly out of here. And that's what the situation is. Now remember, and Rick, maybe we can show them one more time as we're going. We'll spend a couple extra minutes here. The 1996 set. Once again, $579 and a customer pick. Remember, at 15 sets here, we're $129 a set. Okay, so when you look at that, so there's $579. Now go down to 14 sets and it's $1,200. So now you're $89 a set. There's not a single solitary one of these that I can't put up at $89.95 and sell every single solitary one of them that I want. Now, it's not like I have broken these out and sold them off or been able to do that. It's simply not the case because I can't get them. Understand how few of these the United States government made. The government made a tremendously small quantity of these to begin with, because they only made them to order, and people kind of they just kind of quit ordering them.
So they tapered down.
Right. So one of the things I want to show you, all the original boxes are here. So it says here, United States Government, 1993 Prestige Proof Set. Look at the certificate of authenticity, and they're going to come in here. The certificates, all the certificates of authenticity.
There is no one on hold. That just cleared up in case you were discouraged before.
There we go. Yeah, we do. There's not a lot of certificates of authenticity that have to be that big to describe every single solitary coin. And it's going to talk about the silver dollar coin and the silver half dollar coin. The interesting part of this one, and I picked this one out, is this is the only one of the coins, the 1993, which is one of the more difficult sets to get, where the half dollar is silver in this as well. A unique coin that is sold many times by numismatists. So that is the certificate of authenticity. It gives you all of the things. It is absolutely, positively a spectacular opportunity. All the original government boxes, all the original government packages. You're going to get all of the original silver dollars. How about right here? There's the 100th anniversary of the Statue of Liberty. Okay? That is from New York looking out to the Statue of Liberty. And then here, you've got the Statue of Liberty looking back to New York.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay. Isn't that interesting?
Did your grandparents come over and land at Ellis Island?
They did indeed. That's them right there.
That's them right there. I see them waving. You know, we all have a connection to so many of the coins that Mike has been talking about in this set. Mm-hmm. If you're intrigued, if you're thinking $600 off, how can he do it? That's what Mike does. Right. And, you know, we've had this before at $23.99 and very, very successful. Today, final quantities. $17.99, and it is really intensely busy right now. There is a little bit of competitive shopping going on. If you want it, it's here, but you need to get in under that wire.
You need to get in. Our quantities, we're 25, almost 30% sold through all of the quantities that I have available. It's the first time I have sold this since October of last year. Since October of last year, I've only had about 6 dozen of them in stock that I was able to do. Understand 30-day money-back guarantee of crucial importance to this set, right here. Remember, it is a regular issue United States proof set, along with the commemorative silver dollar. Remember, these are 90% silver, okay? These are 90% silver. And these are all rarer than like Morgan dollars and all that other stuff of that, and the commemorative half dollar for the year as well. So